Excuse me. No, don't sit on my keyboard.
Come on.
Oh my goodness. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of BoomJamGaming with Pathfinder Kingmaker. We are finally doing stuff, like actual important stuff. I don't know if the beginning of the episode caught any of that audio where I was just reprimanding the dog. He wasn't getting his way, so his response to that was to attempt to sit on my keyboard, which, since my keyboard controls the hotkeys that control the stream, it is, of course, not great. Anyway, just finding me. Yo, what's up? So, sorry, brain. Oh. So I was going over some of the new D&D stuff today. Because I was looking at Natasha's custom lineage because I saw something that made me question. There was a video that I had seen recently, and it was like top 10 D&D races, and the number one race was Tasha's custom lineage, that new thing that came out in Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, right? Oof, that sucks. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I was looking over. So I thought to myself, like, I had just seen the video in passing. I was looking at something else. I was actually trying to look into winged tieflings, and that's how I found the video. Because I was like, I had the vague notion that a tiefling could be winged, and I just wasn't sure if it was official or homebrew. And it's official. But ultimately, I had found this video, and this video put Tasha's custom lineage at number 1 for best race. And that got me thinking, because I didn't have time to watch the whole video at that point. I was doing something else. But that got me thinking. I was like, hang on a second. How is this how can this be the number 1 race? I know that it lets you have a +2 in any ability score, dark vision, or a proficiency. Choose dark vision. And a feat, right? So I thought to myself, that's not much different than variant human. Why is it number 1 on the list? And then it got me thinking, does any feat mean racial feats as well? So it took me some time to look through it. It does not mean that. But the video had said that you could take a racial feat. But I think he was mistaken because, again, I checked it out. It is not a excuse me. It is not a... you cannot take racial feats with the custom lineage feat. Which is fair, because I feel like if you could, that would be a little too much. I feel like I should replace her longsword +1 with this bastard sword +1, but I'm not sure. Well, I don't actually know if she has proficiency for it. I know that when I made a tiefling paladin in another playthrough, I made sure she had that proficiency. Great club +2. Nah. Great sword, great sword. He's already got 2 masterwork scimitars, am I right? Yeah. Orc double axe. Seasoned wings and thighs. May as well, right? Oh yeah, ultimately it's pretty much the same. Which is why I'm just keeping her in that. Alright, so that's a deal. Check my inventory. Diamond dust. Well, it happens. Okay. Let's go to her. Go to weapons. Okay, good. She does have that proficiency. She is now more badass than she was a moment ago. My day actually went okay, which was a nice change of pace. I went to the gym, and even though it was shoulder day, I did not have a bad time. Shoulder day is the hardest day for me. Period. And I was actually able to get through it at about the weight that I was supposed to be at without too much of a problem. Oh my god, I can give Lindsay a longsword. That's hilarious. So ultimately, I ended up getting through it. Now by the time I was done though with like the actual like the machines and stuff like that, I wasn't able to really get the I wasn't able to get the what was it? I wasn't able to get the core exercises done. I couldn't hold a plank because my arms were very, very tired, and I had just finished doing the rear deltoid machine, which, you know, I'm not sure if my form is wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's right. Planks do put pressure on that part of your body. It is a core exercise, but it's like you still need stability in that in order to, you know, hold yourself up. And at that point, I was kind of done. And then, same thing, well, slightly different problem with doing leg lifts. I was just tired, so I couldn't get the leg lifts done either. Just because I was just plain tired, you know? As like a person. Excuse me. As I'm sure you can hear. Moonstone. And if I seem a little out of it, it's just because shoulder day really is hard. So, it was a bit of an ordeal for me. As for Rias, she got a tattoo today and she's all wiped out. Mm-hmm. Somehow. I didn't know that getting a tattoo could be tiring. But here she is, basically asleep in the middle of the day. Mm-hmm. Early evening, we'll call it.
I would say it's like 7.
Yeah, well, the sun is still up. So, to me...
Yes, the adrenaline roller coaster you go on while getting tattooed tires you out.
Fair enough. Those pelts are heavy. Tianjia ink.
I actually remember I had to walk to the other end of the block to get money in.
True. Peasant children's polished to a sheen with frequent use. Toy knight. Turquoise. Vegetables. Wine. Some wolf pelts. Wooden plate. Written orders. Okay. Yeah. I mean, in a way, I suppose. That doesn't not make sense. He said getting a tattoo is kind of like a micro exercise.
probably.
Coal and rare roots. I didn't realize there was an offer button. That's really nice. Go back upstairs to the stash, and then we're going to make our way, and we are going to actually start doing important stuff. Just got to use the first 15 minutes of the stream to, you know, important bits and bobs. Various treasures. Fog seems to be thinning, but we should wait until it burns off completely. In the meantime, I got us some supplies for your journey to make sure you can enjoy your trip back to Rostov. Can't hunt in dungeons. Make sure you bring enough rations. Okay, but there's also no point in resting in dungeons, because you can't actually rest. Like, unless this game allows you to cast Liamon's tiny hut, you can't actually get rest or spell slots back, so... She knew we could handle it. She believed in us. Watch, I'll just say no and just get a game over. Do you wish to return? Nah. Game over. Credits roll. That would be really funny. I was about to say she looks awfully young to have an adopted son, but then I realized her ass is half elven, so, you know. Yeah. She could be fucking 70 for all I know. And still looking fine. Lay you down. Fine. Stealing jokes. Oh, and he's a half-orc. Still young half-orc with impeccable poise performs a textbook perfect bow. What kind of game are you playing? I think I have the right to know. Do you already know about my encounter with Tartushia? What do I need to know about the history of Boy? I mean, that's how Aegon Targaryen did it. And he got 7 kingdoms to come together. Drowning in blood. What role do I play in your plans? I'm a political tool. No. Those who successfully completed Jamandi Eldori's task and received a Barony as a reward. But why do you want a civil war? You okay?
Yeah, my foot slipped off the edge of the bed. I was like, hey.
Because it is a game. Gotta go mingle. Plus 30. I'm gonna be king. Torture the guards. Eat and drink and we can't even move. Oh, the guests eat and drink and we can't even move. Alright. This man is obviously more comfortable on the battlefield in the company of nobles. He's well built, but the expensive waistcoat he's wearing doesn't quite fit properly, as though it was borrowed. He has a few pale scars across his face, and his dark hair is drawn into an unkempt ponytail with a few streaks of gray running through it. Greets you with a broad smile and a firm handshake. Let me introduce myself. I am Maegor Varn, the new ruler of Dunsword, your neighbor to the east. Like you, above to be a baron. Great job with the Stag Lord, by the way. Not everyone could exterminate a whole gang of bandits with such a small team. How'd you earn the title of baron? Truth be told, my team and I just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Jamandi Eldor needed someone reliable to take hold of the territory. I'm the captain of a mercenary team, if that wasn't clear. Varnling host. You heard of us? No? No matter. We've done work for Jamandi before. This time the task was simple. We just waltzed into the area, cleared the most brazen monsters, built a small fort to hold the place. And for that, a barony. Land to own. It was a dream job. How do you feel being a noble? Looking at his rich clothes, he smirks. Like a pheasant on a plate. I've killed all kinds of monsters, but it's the first time I so strongly felt like turning away could get me eaten. See that lad? Baron Drelev. He's not like us. Who knows what generation of baron he is? Didn't even shake my hand. You and me were like dirt beneath his boots. That's why those like us, the newly made nobility, need to stick together. Otherwise, he'd take my land and yours in the blink of an eye. I think he's right. It's nice meeting you. Farewell. Goodbye. Once you settled in, come pay us a visit. Lindsay! So that must be John. Forgot the lion. Tushio, well, scum. How did we? I've had one too many. You who dealt with the Stag Lord, allow me to shake your hand. Hey, it's Jaethal. Hey, it's her. Tiefling you met during the Battle of Jamandi Eldori's mansion. Tiefling from Kadra who helped you during the fight. Okay, help during the fight's kind of, strong words. Right to business. But Baron, it already seems someone wishes to poison me. Of course. To beauty. I mean, I am hanging out with Serenray worshippers, past and present, so... You've shown your duplicity once. I didn't want to hear it. I don't want anything further to do with you. Now, first I'll listen to what you have to say. Nah. Apology accepted. What did you want to tell me? No need to apologize. I didn't expect anyone to immediately fall into my charms and entrust me with all their secrets. You're a virgin and want to give me rights to prima nocta. No. Probably not. Ooh. Ah, what could be better than a treasure hunt? I'm ready. Okay. Whatever you say, DLC character. Let's go ahead and talk to Jaethal. Sorrowflow. Feast would show them some real festivities if they'd let me. Sorrowflow. Ah, yes, I see. Good old rest hasn't changed a bit. Even the smell in the streets is the same. Tala Sertova. Something unfamiliar, old lady in a low voice. Upon noticing you, she breaks into sugary sweet smile. You're not only tough, but quick. Well, congratulations on your victory. Enjoy it while you can. Is this a threat? I would never. I simply wish to warn you in case you don't fully realize the fate that awaits you and your barony. What do you think awaits me? Nothing good, I fear. The Eldori, our dearest friends, don't deem it necessary to inform you of their plans, I assume. So preparing to separate from Brevoy will not be a peaceful process. They lack the strength, currently. Hence using this legal loophole to create some independent allies. Once the civil war breaks out, your lands will be the first to endure a strike from Brevoy's forces. Perhaps they'll erect a memorial stone and an independent rest off to honor you. Well, I wouldn't count on that, really. And what would you propose? Your situation, the most reasonable course of action would be to align yourself with the lawful rulers of Brevoy, the noble houses. The Eldori won't dare to rebel, knowing they'll immediately become entrapped. You could help Brevoy avoid a civil war while simultaneously enjoying some well-deserved peace in your lands. Or I could maybe talk y'all out of this whole thing. This is silly. BoomJamGaming has already attempted to impose a guard on you as an emissary. I'm guessing her low-born stepson, the green-skinned boy, Cassil. It's up to you, of course, but I'd recommend a different envoy. Please meet Shanda Merveille, an experienced diplomat who's more familiar with Brevoy's politics than any brawler could be. Oh god, she looks like the nun from Game of Thrones. She looks like Shame Nun. I would be happy to help you establish diplomatic relations with Brevoy. I'll consider your proposal. Think on it. Do not make any hasty decisions. As Macbeth once said in Gargoyles, a wise king considers all of his decisions, considers all of his counsel, and then makes his choice. 5 societies here, even Tala Sertova. Assassination, provocation, anything. Guests. Tristan! These people are not just celebrating. It seems your feat has given them a new hope. Hey, it's Valerie. How you doing, baby? Truth be told, I'm not really comfortable here. I lost my taste for high society. Nah, we won't be here forever. Ah, good old Hannes Drelov, whoever that is. The man's gorgeous clothes hide rippling muscles beneath them. He looks past your ear, obviously bored. Baron Hannes Drelov, he says offhandedly, and emphasizing the word Baron. Baron. And you must be the Stag Lord Butcher? I'm sorry, I quite forgot your name, but you took out the Stag Lord and his gang, and so Sword Lord Jemani is granting you permission to take his place, right? Well, congratulations. My lands lie to the west of yours. I suppose we're neighbors now. Yes, I defeated the Stag Lord. Pray tell, what did you do to deserve your new dominion? Smirk appears on the Baron's face. I don't need to deserve or prove anything. Countless generations of my glorious ancestors have done so for me. If I had a slightly bigger army, Sword Lord Jamandi would have simply given all the stolen lands to me. Alas, I don't have so many soldiers at my disposal, so she had to urgently make barons of the likes of you and Varn. I'm going to conquer this man's kingdom. He's going to provoke me, and I'm going to take his fucking country. So you have no army, no special merits. You were just given the land for being pretty. Damn. Under other circumstances, I'd have you whipped for such words, but let's not ruin Lady Eldori's celebration, If you want so badly to measure merits, we can do so another time. I'm gonna kick your ass, kid. I know magic, you know nothing. I am a magician. A magician of some repute. Not very polite for a nobleman. Politeness must be deserved. Goodbye. Ugh. Fuck this dude. Hey, it's Octavia. Try the eclairs, they're delicious. Regognar. To victory, to freedom. Bottoms up, yes. He strikes me as a face down, ass up, that's the way we like to fuck kind of guy. I don't know who Lander is. Lander, a handsome, well-dressed young man of about 17 years old, looks at you with a polite smile. So you're the famous slayer of the Stag Lord's gang, soon to be a baron? Pleased to make your acquaintance. My name is Lander. Just Lander? No last name, no title? To say I'm here incognito. Under my circumstances, it's wise to keep one's lineage to oneself. Truth be told, that's precisely what I want to speak with you about. You see, I'm heir to one of Brevoy's noble houses. I won't say which, but believe me, I'm newly appointed baron with no connections. I would do well to have a friend like me. I travel the country in secret without servants so I can see it for myself, not from a carriage window, but face to face with the people. My family would never approve, of course, but then I never asked. I need to know Brevoy if I'm going to rule a part of it someday. Seems like alright, I can get behind that. I know Jamandi wants to impose her stepson on you as an emissary of Brevoy. Refuse. Take me instead. Don't look at my age. While they may have trained this half-orc to swing a sword, I've been training to rule since I was a child. I'll be of far greater use to you, both now and in the future, after I have a firm position in my family. You're from Restovic nobility? Oh no, I'm not from here. Just visiting, you could say. I wanted to see myself the heroes who managed to conquer the frontierlands, and the Lord Mayor was kind enough to invite me to this wonderful party. Please tell me again what you're doing here. I travel the country in secret without servants so I can see it for myself. Tell me once more what you want to do for me. Propose a stepson. Position in my family. Been trained to rule since I was a child. I'll be of far greater use to you both now and in the future, after I have a firm position in my family. I'll consider your proposal. Yes, do so, and carefully. If I can take both of them, I will. Hey, Harim's alive. A feast in times of pestilence, a ludicrous attempt to sink into reverie, digress from contemplating one's own insignificance. He is the most dour human I know. Or, not a human. He's the most dour person I know. What's up, Zavanki Clegg? A handsome man with a weather-beaten face grasps your hand tightly in his rough, calloused palms. Unlike the rest of the guards in their festive clothes, he wears a simple robe. The only luxury you see on him is a holy symbol of Erasteel made from solid gold. Other guests look at him with respect, some bordering on awe. Congratulations on your victory, he says in a deep voice. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Zvanki Keeg, High Priest of Erasteel in Restov. I'd be grateful for any help you could spare. Oh, I failed. Most pious aspirations are often hindered, but it is not the case that overcoming such obstacles allows us to become closer to our God. I give you my blessing, and I believe you will be able to overcome these hardships and achieve your goals. Damn! Many people venerate Erasteel. They revere many gods in Restov. They pray to Abadar, patron of the cities, Pharasma, gatherer of souls. I believe there's some more rare cults, but there's no denying the stag god has the largest congregation here. And no wonder, people have lived off farming and hunting for centuries. Surprisingly simply for such a festive occasion. Priest's mouth turned up in a faint smile. The nobles dress in silks and satins to stand out from the poor. A priest wears a simple robe to stand out from the nobles. It's an honor to meet you. Goodbye. Erasteel keep you. Damn. Fortunately, I failed that check. Joseph Selamius. An older man with full sideburns looks at you with interest through golden eyeglass. It isn't the hero of the festivities, the protege of our dear Jamandi. You pulled this all off quite cleverly, I confess. I wasn't convinced your enterprise would succeed. I even bet a bottle of my best Pataxian wine against you. But I'm happy to admit I was wrong. The Eldori have always been adept at finding new talent. Don't believe we've been introduced. So it would seem I am Joseph Selemius, Lord Mayor of Restov. I rule this town and the adjacent lands. As your northern neighbor, I hope we can look forward to a long and fruitful friendship. Rule Restov? What about the Eldori? Brevoy's politics seem complex and incomprehensible to many. Here in this part of Rostland, the spirit of northern freedom still lives. We are loyal to the throne, of course. May the gods prolong the life of His Highness, King Naleski Sartova. But here, far away from the dominions of the great houses, we have our own way of life. It is especially important now, after the certain events that I probably don't need to name. The Eldori Sword Lords used to rule Rostland. They're still the largest landowners and main military force in the region, but it's not for nothing that Restov is called a free city. We're proud to choose the Lord Mayor from among the citizens, considered not by their lineage, but their own merits. Democracy. kind of events are you talking about? Patronizing spy. Why, an aspiring politician needs to be well informed. I'm talking, of course, about the disappearance of the ruling house, Regarvia. Can you imagine it? Old man Coral conquered our land 2 centuries ago. It'd be a shameless lie to say that nobody wished his royal house could just disappear to thin air. Once the exact thing happened, turned out nobody was ready for it. Poof! All over the country, every member of the royal house disappeared without a trace. Nobody knows what happened. It is a mystery, but a mystery pregnant with opportunity for everyone. How are things in Rostov? Don't want to boast, but things have been going well in recent years. Trade prospers, the population grows, the citizens are happy. Though recently, especially after the disappearance of House Regarvia, more and more troublemakers have been appearing, and people are talking about the most shocking things. But those sorts of rumors aren't worthy of your attention. Nice meeting you. Please wait a moment. Your young barony will need resources to establish itself, and from what I've been told, you are somewhat in need of financial assistance. I can organize and supply everything you need for the construction, and spread out the cost in extremely favorable terms. I could immediately procure, let's say, 500 cartloads of building supplies. I'm sure that would give you a good start. In exchange, I'd ask a small favor. Until you repay the debt in full, you simply assume the obligation of contracting building services through Restov's Builders Guild. Do we have a deal? That's a good question. I mean, 500 carts. That's a lot. I don't know. It's a tough one. Selemius is the Lord Mayor of Rostov. He's offering me 500 carts. Until you repay debt in full, you simply assume the obligation of contracting building services through Rostov's Builders Guilds. Do we have a deal? I don't know. What do you think? Possibly. I looked online to get a sense of how long it takes. Some people are like, it's totally worth it. Other people are like, it's not worth it at all. It's like making a deal with the Iron Bank. Right now I have no money. So is it worth it to do it, or should I just do things the hard way and not have to pay interest? I mean, I've got a lot of money itself built up. A fresh start might be nice. Then again, we could do early development and fortification, possibly have it paid off rather quickly. I don't know. It's a tough choice. You know what? I'll accept the offer, and I'll just work really hard to repay them quickly. It's a deal. Get everything in order right away and schedule delivery immediately. It's nice meeting you. Goodbye. Dazzling successes soon. Today is a historic day for Restov and maybe for all of Brevoy. I think I've talked with everyone. Yeah, we'll call that a we've talked with everyone. Let's go ahead then. It's tough. I don't know. The Lander kid might be too good to be true. And she hasn't lied to me so far. She's even being like, yeah, no, we're anticipating a civil war and I'm putting you in power so you can help me. I do kind of appreciate that she's been so upfront about it. Let's take Sandra. No, I'm just joking. I don't like Chandra. Like, I already didn't like her. You know, yeah. I am ready for the ceremony. We gonna be a kingdom. Well, it says Kingmaker, right? So I'm gonna be more than just a baron. Arthur Eldarian Hoster. Yay! We're a baron now. I think I personally could pay him back. Especially at my rate of loot gathering and selling. I like that I'm not in the illustration. Greetings, Baron. Greetings, Baron. Baroness? I'm a guy. Welcome, Your Grace. Creston salutes you. You can see he's a bit anxious and seems to rehearse his speech many times. Let me once again congratulate you on your victory and your new title. Lady Jamandi transferred me here. I'm at your disposal. Not one to bestow honors, but I want you to know I'm glad to serve you. Here to welcome you on behalf of your new capital citizens. The Stag Lord's former stronghold is soon to be a thriving city. Word travels fast, and the first settlers have already arrived, with new ones approaching as we speak. While you were visiting Restov, much has been done here. Your benefactors, the Eldori, invested a great deal of resources in rebuilding the city. I stand ready to answer your questions and show you around the most important sites. Where are my companions? Somewhere around here, but I never kept eye on who went where exactly. Well, I assume Tristan is with Jod, and you can always find Lindsay. Just follow the noise and turmoil. Citizens I should know about. Old acquaintance Jod is right here. Rastil's clerics don't normally like cities much, but he's eager to serve. Also, the emissary from Bavoy is here, waiting for you in the throne room. There's also this curious matter. An elf has paid us a visit. Blind elf. Desna only knows how he managed to get here. Seems peaceful, even pleasant fellow, though naturally the lod. Let him stay a while. It's up to you to decide what to do with him. That's about it, I guess. Mood of the people? Must admit, never seen anything like that my whole life. A city, a whole barony, born right in front of our eyes. The people sense the movement, and today we're feeling proud. As a rule, I'm not too cheerful or chatty. I'd normally feel out of place amongst all the rejoicing, but today is just one of those days. Main question is, where can I get a drink of 3? It's untest my victory. I'll make sure to show you. The moment we entered the city, the tavern was the first business that opened. Building a city is thirsty work, and beg your forgiveness for my behavior during the reception. I drank a little too much. It is a day for celebration. Well, I'm ready to look. Let's go. Your Baron, your Baroness. I am not a Baroness. Hello, people. Greetings, Your Grace. We are, well, your new subjects. We're selecting a site to build our house. Okay. It's wet near the lake and windy up here on the hill. Fine place to throw garbage at your neighbors' heads, though. Ouch. It's a good thing you got rid of those monsters and bandits, Your Grace. Yeah? Recognize this place, Your Grace. This is where the Stag Lord's fortress wall used to be. Not that it saved him in the end, huh? Well, I mean, I did open it. Wasn't a great wall. Our workers did a fine job turning the bandit den into the heart of the town. Heart of every town is its main square. We plan to hold street festivities and fairs here. Look, we already have our first vendor. Is it Oleg? Probably not. Looks like it could be, though. Greetings, Your Grace. Turn to the right in the square, you'll end up straight in our tavern. Tavern's ale is blessed by Caden Killian himself, I swear. And the lady who owns it is a gem. There's a troll, his hair pure gold and can breathe fire. What tall is a troll, hair pure gold and can breathe fire? That's all nonsense. Well, except for the last part, breathing fire. All barons can breathe fire, trust me. I mean, I can kind of breathe fire, burning hands. Welcome, Your Grace. Glad to serve you. Grace, these are our guards to help keep order in the city or keep mouths busy with something that was too fast for me to read. Observation platform. I hope one day your capital will grow large enough that we won't be able to see its full extent from this perch. Ah, okay, the art is to... I get it. Building in front of us is your residence. That's where we'll head to now. Ooh, nice place. My real question is, what happened to all my stuff? Is it still at Oleg's trading post? Welcome to your barony. You're about to make unyielding stolen lands into a prosperous kingdom. There's a long and arduous road ahead of you. You and your advisor are going to deal with matters of national importance, found and build up settlements, seize and develop new regions, solve pressing problems, and take advantage of good opportunities. A prosperous governor will be handsomely rewarded with support and donations from their subjects, promising alliances and others with other states, wealth for the treasury, and many other things. Good luck in your ruling, Baron. Cool. Ever reach the main chambers? This is the throne room where you hold court and receive visitors. Let me draw your attention to this large map depicting your barony and its surroundings. We'll mark all the important scout reports and other news worthy of your grace's attention. Greetings, your grace. It was a pleasure to meet you at Restov Reception. On behalf of your allies and benefactors, the Eldari Sword Lords, I'd like to offer some advice. Barony effects: community +6, loyalty +6, military +3, economy +3, divine +3, arcane +3, stability +3. New event: trade agreement with Sertova, agreement with Yosef Salamius. Izvanki's offer: pillars the Temple of the Elk, rebuild the Temple of the Elk. Solve most of your barony's problem by granting appointments to the right people, responsible people, but certain state business will demand your personal attention. Excuse me. As will the visits of especially important guests. Reports of such outstanding events will be marked on your map. You can always check it while considering your plans. New event: trade agreement with Sertova, agreement with... According to the ancient traditions of Brevoy and most of the river kingdoms, rulers address affairs of state and receive visitors at the beginning of the month. My advice to you is to maintain this tradition and regularly visit your capital when needed. First thing you should do as a ruler is assign loyal people to all important positions in your barony. Your clerics, Jod and Tristan, were the first to seek an audience. I won't distract you further. I'll leave you to consider. Once again, my congratulations. May your rule be long and prosperous. Okay. You may change the difficulty level of your barony at any time. Set it to automatic. If it's set to automatic, you won't have to deal with most government decisions. They will be taken care of automatically, and your barony will never fail. However, this will also prevent you from unlocking any governance-related achievements. Yeah, but I want to make decisions. Allow me to congratulate you on receiving the title of Baron. I'm confident you'll be able to bring order to these troubled lands. To be honest, it isn't exactly what we wanted to speak to you about. Tristan and I have been talking a great deal about what happened at the Temple of the Elk. Doesn't all make sense to us yet, but one thing is clear. There's a powerful curse at work, corrupted the very essence of that sacred place, steeping it with putrescence. Ugh, I'm disgusted with whoever could do this. Now there is a new woe. Tristan and I believe the curse did not simply disperse of its own accord. There's a place near the capital rumored by the locals to be cursed. Tristan and I have visited this dreadful place and felt the same putrescence as the Temple of the Elk. Right? What is this place? Where is it? There's a bald hilltop not far from here, to the north of the capital. Its crown is entirely barren of life. Locals believe that rituals glorifying the dark gods were held there back in ancient times. No longer any trace of such rituals, but the air around the hilltop is heavy to the point of stifling. This place is like a rotting wound, closed but not healed. This wound will undoubtedly open again. Tristan and I have felt something approaching, something ominous. The curse will soon return to plague us once more, I swear by Erastil. I'll go there as soon as I'm able. Happy to accompany you, but I would not expect to see anything new there at present. I agree with Tristan. We've been to the hilltop. It's barren, but filled with dense atmosphere of unease. What do you suggest? Curse will grow in strength, and we predict it will reach the peak of its strength in about 1 month. That's when we should visit the hilltop to resolve this issue. Oh, good, another timing. For now, we can only wait and prepare. We beg your pardon, Your Grace, for intervening with you getting the grasp of your barony. I'm sure you'll have even more pressing matters at hand right now.
It feels kind of pressing.
Ancient curse. Barony has 10 basic stats, each supervised by an advisor. They are as follows: population, regent, loyalty, counselor, military, general, economy, treasurer, divine, high priest, relations, grand diplomat, stability, warden, magic, magister, culture, curator, and espionage minister. Stats increase if your governance is successful and decrease if events don't end well or other negative factors are placed in your way. Don't let your barony stats drop to 0 or lower. This will cause your subjects to riot and your state will begin to crumble. Each stat has a certain milestone or rank within them, ranks within them. Every 20 points on a stat will increase your rank. Rank 1 unlocks a corresponding advisor position for that stat. Further development of the stat and upgrades in its ranks will be possible only if you have an advisor in the relevant position. Governing your barony will require one advisor for each stat. You may appoint your companions as well as some of the stolen land citizens to these advisor positions. Each of the 10 positions has at least 3 characters who are qualified to hold it. Not all these characters will be willing to serve you right away. Some of them will need to be convinced. Appointing others will require contemplating an assignment for them or rendering them some other service. Every advisor acts in their own ideology. They have their own opinions on everything that happens in your domain. Therefore, you may want to select characters whose governance philosophy is consistent with your own. Open the advisor tab on the right side of the screen, click an empty slot, and select the character to appoint them as an advisor. So Jay Thal is like the only one of my followers who I'm not really planning on giving an advisor spot to unless she's really good at something, because she is a sadistic vampire. She's a hedonistic vampire who's struggling with the fact that she can't feel most of her hedonism. Every barony stat gains a bonus from a specific ability of the appointed advisor. The exact size of the bonus is indicated. Upper right corner of the advisor's card. Only advisors may address the problems, opportunities, and sudden events that occur in your domain and require immediate attention. Don't leave these positions vacant. The name of the barony cannot be changed later in the game. Stolen lands. I don't want to call them the stolen lands anymore. Going to name it after my character's mother. Well, after her house. Eldaria. Shrike. Settlement map. Click a capital icon to open your settlement map. Nothing is built yet. Octavia. May construct buildings to increase your barony stats. Each building has a cost in BP and construction time. You may construct several buildings simultaneously. To start construction, select the building you need from the list. Right screen and place it in an empty slot in the settlement. Buildings may provide special bonuses if you meet certain conditions. Most commonly, 2 buildings must stand close together to grant the bonus. Make sure you use this feature to full benefit when planning a settlement. Some buildings can be placed only in designated spots or areas. For example, a pier must be built on water and a mill must be built with no other buildings around it. Demolish a building to get rid of it and recover half the resources you spent in construction. If you want to move a building, you'll have to demolish the old one, gaining half the resources, construct it in a new spot. You won't have to spend any extra BP, but you'll have to wait for construction to finish in the new location. Tuskdale. Warehouses and workshops for docking ships and building cargo and passengers can only be built in the water slot. Effects lumber yard can be upgraded to marina, requires town. No brainer. A little bit of SimCity, yeah. But this is what we were working towards. +1 to stability when adjacent to a longhouse, eh? Effects artisan shop. Okay. Orphanage. Let's see. Building a longhouse is a good idea. Having a monument would be a good idea, I think. Monument to my glory. It requires town, but we are not a town. We are a village. To relations, I'm located a settlement with piers, and I'm gonna have a pier. All of these things together should make for a very good town. Oh. Okay. Small mistake, that was all. Alright. +1 divine when next to a monument. Damn. Made a small mistake. That's alright. It's +1 divine when next to a monument and +1 loyalty when next to a longhouse, and the longhouse is over here. So if I put the monument over here, and I put the shrine in the center of town next to both, yeah. Now we're getting it. And I'll build an orphanage, because that seems like the right thing to do. Alright. That's our, that's Tuskdale. We've, done a very good job there, I think. Got ourselves a good town. Assigning advisors. Alright. Regent. According to the position in government, their beliefs and their alignment. Or link between the Baron and their people. Octavia might be the better choice there, but let's check who we've got for general. Protecting the realm. Wasn't expecting that. Counselor. Ah. High Priest. I would honestly rather he did it. Just because he's kind of a pain in the ass. Treasurer. Oh, we don't even have any treasurer candidates right now. Always strives to solve problems peacefully. Follow the letter of the law. I think she would be a better link to the people. You know? Because she's so kind and friendly. She's like, what, chaotic good? Or neutral good? I value her, but I thought that she would be a military leader. But she can be harsh, is the thing. It's a tough one. Counselor. Well, Tristan cares for the people over all of the concerns. Regions. Expand your territory, the regions tab, and do a thing. No special regional conditions. That is complete a quest. Okay. Collect sufficient BP for the claim. Unoccupied advisor who can take charge of the claim. May and the boundaries of the state will change and receive all bonuses granted by the claimed region. Okay. Can do that. Military. Favors a direct approach, hot-headed and direct. Always tries to help those in need. See, the thing is, he's hot-headed. I'll take help those in need. And it gives him a job. So. Right, we don't have a treasurer yet. Without disrupting local traditions. Favors unusual but effective solutions. I do like unusual. Spiritual needs of all citizens in the barony. You know what? We'll give Harim a chance. Just had to think about it. We'll give him a chance. And if he's not good at it, we'll give Jod the job. Strives to follow the letter of the law. Always strives to solve problems peacefully. I'm going to give it to Octavia. Financial assistance in exchange for your promise. Generous offer, but who knows what the consequences would have for the barony. Requires 7 days to solve. But it requires a... Spreading Stag God's faith across the region, he's eager to build a shrine. Spence accept his offer if you wish to gain a useful ally and a plot to worship for Rastil. I think it's a good plan. Okay, he's currently doing that. Insufficient funds. All right. We'll get someone eventually. Someone who can actually do money. Back to projects. Good thing I had all that money saved up. I can get almost 100. You know what? I'd rather... Okay, I currently have 52 BP. Alright. it's 80 coins per BP. Okay. Alright. I think I got it. I think I've got this figured out. We can do this. What's up, Octavia? Since this has been such an RP heavy thing, I think I can finally talk to Shane about his past. What are these? It's our personal stash! I was wondering about that. And now we know. All we need is someone who's versed in antiquities so we can make some money off those things that I found. Tell me about yourself. What can you tell me of Serenray? Serenray is the goddess of temperance, patience. A solar flame goddess teaches us compassion for the weary and mercy to those who go astray. What would you like to know of her? I'd like to hear about the history of your faith. Much to tell, but I'm afraid I've missed the mark. I fear I'd bore you. Is anything specific you want to know? How'd she come to be? One of Galarian's oldest deities. Once she was an angel that had gathered the armies of celestial allies behind her. The battle in which showed her valor decided the fate of a whole world. And in her victory, she was rewarded with divinity. In the sacred text, Serenray is shown as a beautiful bronze-skinned maiden, her hair dancing flame. But her appearance is not what matters. It is the grace she brings with her touch, healing and salvation. My leg itches. Oh, that's better. Tell me about the battle you mentioned. What was the act of valor? Her greatest moment of glory is the battle against the monstrous Ravagug, who threatened to destroy Galarian. Serenray delivered the strike that staggered the horrendous creature and allowed her allies to shackle it. Once the rough beast was captured, the goddess split the earth, and the gods threw the behemoth into the depths. Once it was done, the goddess sealed the pit and commanded her faithful to stay away from the scar that was left in the land. How much you want to bet this is somehow going to come into play? Like, I feel like this isn't just fluff. Okay. Alas, mortal beings are imperfect. Not even the most faithful among us can always follow their deity's commandments, even when such commandments are meant to save the world from their followers. I, for one, pray for the goddess to never again be as furious as she was with Gormos. Misinterpreted goddess of warnings to avoid locations. People from all over flock there for millennia, but slowly corrupted and imprisoned God. Mention Gormos. Slight error of faith, perhaps a lesson, but it speaks of the danger when one listens to mortal words and stops listening to their faith. Serenray forbade her followers from coming near the place of Ravagug's imprisonment, but some of her priesthood misread her will and began to preach of a sacred place where the mightiest of temples dedicated to the goddess were to be constructed. People listened to these sermons and went forth to the lands touched by Serenray's scimitar. The scar that healed the well, they founded Gormaz, a holy city that was to become the greatest monument to Serenray. Unsurprisingly, after the city was built, the faithful from all Galarian traveled there to worship. Serenray sent omens and visions, urging her followers to leave this dangerous place, filled with the dark will of the shackled Ravagug. But in their pride, the people misinterpreted or ignored her signs altogether, for they had already come under Ravagug's influence. Finally, the goddess sent her herald to the city, but the fanatics killed him. Realizing the people had turned from her, the enraged goddess smote Gormaz, raising it from the face of Galarian with a single strike of her scimitar. Today it is called the Pit of Gormaz, a well of pain and suffering. Tell me about the pit. It's a great crevasse in eastern Casmaran. The lands surrounding it are dead, soaked in poison. The pit of Gormaz seems bottomless until someone dares to gaze into its depths. All those who have dared to tell of a strange, distant glow, a glow that followed them to in their dreams ever since. Throughout all of history, the pit of Gormaz has spawned creatures, hideous beasts of overwhelming power and driven only by a single desire, to destroy everything they see. Some were defeated, such as the nightmarish Ulanat, whose carapace to this day towers above the capital of Osirian. Others proved too strong to be defeated by mortal hands. Most terrible of them was the Tarask, the Armageddon engine, who to this day lies dormant beneath Avestan. So it's interesting how both Paizo and Wizards of the Coast use the Tarask. I thought it was something that was owned by Wizards of the Coast, you know? I thought that was a D&D only monster. I did not realize that was a shared thing. So I'm wondering, did the Tarask exist before D&D? Because, like, orcs existed well before D&D, and orcs can be found in all kinds of fiction. Because even though orcs as we know them were kind of an invention of Tolkien, apparently, according to Tolkien himself, he got the word from somewhere else. So, you know. Hey, look, I read Panda. Anyway, have wars ever been waged in Serenray's name? Yes, terrible battles were once fought between the followers of Nethys, Norgorbor, and Serenray, in the lands now known as Rahadum. To my shame, I must admit that this conflict was started by my brothers and sisters. They came to a foreign land to make way for their goddess's light with sword and fire. The calamity became known as the Oath Wars, a catastrophe that led the inheritors of Rahadum to deny all gods, banning all faiths from their lands. Alas, the mortal vessel is imperfect, and even a pure faith may be distorted by blind ambition. And great suffering may occur in its name. Okay. What are the teachings? Goddess of light and salvation, even those who have been forsaken by the other gods, she teaches us mercy and forgiveness for as long as they may be useful to a soul's salvation. Makes sound like followers of Surrender will try to find good even in a bandit with a knife to their throat. Do not mistake compassion for weakness, Arthur. On one hand of Serenray is shrouded in healing light, the other is a scimitar. Following the goddess, the priests learned to wield this weapon starting in childhood. I was wondering why he could use that thing. They do not hesitate to use it if the dispute cannot be settled peacefully. Serenray preaches mercy, yet her compassion is not infinite. We give a second chance to all who ask, but if they reject it, if they persist in their sins, they will face the goddess's retribution. Any undeserving of mercy? Gates has passed you into the distance for several moments. When he speaks again, his voice is quiet, reflective, as if echoing his thoughts. Undeserving of mercy. Would even Serenray herself find compassion to... Forgive me, Your words, they aren't easy ones to reconcile, and even priests such as I, we debate them to this day. What is the point at which a soul is irredeemable? Or is it a failing of the priests themselves? These are difficult questions you ask, Arthur. Questions wise men have debated for centuries. Does a being that has been tainted by evil to its very roots, that rejects its own salvation, still deserve compassion? Can those compelled to do evil by others still seek forgiveness? There's no easy answer to these issues among Serenray's followers. I'm asking the real questions now. As for me, I believe that every soul carries the potential for goodness within. No matter the crime, the guilty may find forgiveness if they repent and cast off the evil that led to the deed. I believe this with all my heart, Arthur. Even though this is the neutral good action, I feel like this is what I would say. Or this is what Arthur would say. Because he is flowy in his language. He's a fancy guy, after all. Never before have I met a person so noble in spirit. Serenray's blessing was upon me the day you came to my aid. Thank you for your kind words. However, I'm confused. Where I am from, such compliments are not given to friends, but rather to ones closer than that. I hope this is not what you meant. I would hate to disappoint you and lose you as a friend. I'm not hitting on you. I was trying to give you a nice compliment. But yes, I recognize how that could sound like I was hitting on you. My goddess strives to see the best, even in the dark gods. She never abandons the hope of their redemption. The priests of Serenray follow her teachings, akin to the healing light herself, who emanates warmth and heeds the call of those in need. Wade the suffering in body and spirit throughout Galarian. The priests of Serenray are willing to help anyone, no matter the faith of the one in need. I mean, this is why I gave him a position of power. Each plea must be heard. Every misfortune deserves compassion, be it a peasant seeking a blessing for the harvest or a murderer seeking repentance the night before their execution. Sometimes the mercy of the solar flame goddess is the last thing that can save one's soul from ruin. We have no right to withhold it from the truly repentant. That's something else. How is she worshipped? I'm learning so much lore. Many worship Solar Flame Goddess in her temples. Some make the pilgrimage to the Everlight Oasis, but even those who do not serve the goddess directly, rarely shun the festivities dedicated to her. The Sunrot Festival, for one. What are the temples like? Well, the shrines are often open to the sky and the goddess's life-bringing sunlight. Her light fills the temple and shrouds the parish in warmth and grants its blessing to all in need. In Kalesh, crowds gather during the services so that all may feel the blessings of the goddess. The most ingenious devices are constructed by some of the faithful to please the goddess. I have seen a temple of Serenray which housed a complicated array of mirrors, all to direct the light of the sun to the altar. Tell me of the oasis. I've never been there, but the stories say it is a wondrous place, sacred to Serenray's faithful. The oasis is located in Zelshabar, which lies in Kazmaron. Pilgrims from throughout Galarian traveled there, seeking the goddess's blessing. God, this is like reading Lord of the Rings, with all these different names and places that I'm probably never going to go to. According to legend, the waters of the Everlight Oasis are imbued with healing properties, and anyone who bathes in them shall be cured of any ailment. Just imagine, a place where people from all around the world come to gather to worship. What stories they must share. What's the Sunrot Festival? Oh, the Sunrot Festival takes place on the day of the summer solstice, when the prayers of her flock can reach Serenray the easiest. On this day, Kalesh blooms with color. In each corner of the Padisa Empire, the people praise their goddess by dancing and singing, setting off fireworks and flying kites. I hope the beautiful custom shall one day reach your lands as well. Yeah, sure, man. She doesn't seem worth a damn. No, I've heard enough of Serenray. Ever wish to know more about the goddess, just ask. I've asked you every possible question. What brought you to these lands? I've heard rumors. They say these lands are cursed, and the curses are growing stronger, as if something is granting them power. Could not ignore such rumors. What curses are you talking about?
Well, how about the mist?
You don't see, every word uttered in the heat of an argument turns into prophecy here, just waiting to fulfill itself. And if it were only for the people, the land itself seems seething with curses so ancient their origins are impossible to trace. Take the abandoned temple of Erastil, where we met. What happened to it? What force compelled the priest to leave such a magnificent temple behind the whims of nature? Will we ever know? I myself was nearly slain by beasts. Fortunately, you came along, following Jod, and saved me. I owe you a great debt. Come a great distance indeed. When you look at it that way, then yes, but please do not think that I came all the way from Kalesh because of mere curiosity. I was wandering long before that. It is the custom of our faith. The farther our paths take us, the more people we may help. Why did Jod see in his premonition? Serenray sees all the good gods and goddesses as her allies. Many have fought alongside the goddess against the menace of Ravagug. Ravagug. How did I fuck that up? Erastil among them. By offering my prayer to Serenray, I let her know of my misfortune in the Temple of the Elk. The merciful goddess did not ignore my plea, but whom could she have asked for aid other than Erastil, whose faith is strong in these lands? Erastil sent John a sign, and you came just in time to rescue me. To tell the truth, I was certain my journey was at an end, and those creatures were beating to death of me. So much time here, what do you think the future holds for these lands? These are cruel lands. As I came here, I bore witness to much pain and suffering, but I've seen equal kindness among those seeking to protect themselves and their loved ones. The people of the Stolen Lands are resolute, true to themselves. I admire their strength. Alas, I do not know what powers the curses that flourish in this land, but I swear I will not leave until we have the answer and the means to cleanse them. must forgive me for not swearing on Serenre's name, but as of late I have troubled the goddess too much as it is. It better serve her through action, not prayer. Cool. Called yourself the Chosen of Serenre. What do you mean by that? Sorry, mere jest. Other acolytes at my temple used to tease me with the title. This should tell you how pious and devoted I was compared to them. And yet my faith is strong. Serenre knows this and protects me in times of great peril. If something ever threatens my life, by her divine powers, I am transported to a safe location. Oh, so he's got the thing like Lindsay, where they can just be poof to safety. I should go. A pleasure. Cool. Well, the only other person we got to really talk to is Harim. But we'll save that for next time. I've done plenty of reading. A storyteller. I have a storyteller. Her name is Lindsay. Anyway, we'll go ahead and save once more. And yeah. Shut up, Arthur. Oh, and we can start the next, episode by leveling all these folks up. Or, yeah, we'll do that next episode. Anyway, I will catch you all next time.